I feel the need right now to stick up for the bosses. I do. Because, I've been on both sides of this thing. I'm a worker, but I'm also a boss when it comes to my side hustle. And I talk to people every day as a worker. I talk to people every day who kind of go on this pity party sometimes when things don't go their way in life financially. And they talk about, well, the big bosses, they do this, they do that, and they get paid all this money, and that's why they're the big boss. They get away with this because they're the big boss, and that's why they get paid all the big boss money. But have you noticed that when you leave at the end of the day and you say good night, the sun's gone down, you're always saying good night, boss. Sometimes the boss is the only one that's left there at the end of the day. When you come in first thing in the morning, you say good morning, boss, because boss is already there. And when you leave at night, you say good night, boss, because boss is there. Boss is there to open up the place, and boss is there to close the place every single day, sometimes on weekends. Sometimes if you're a weekend person, you're part of the skeleton crew, you're part of the graveyard. Sometimes boss is coming there on the day off. Sometimes boss is coming in when there's an event, not even in their uniform, coming in on time that is theirs to check on the place, putting in extra time and extra hours. You're a worker that's scheduled for only a certain amount of time, and that's what you're paid for. That's what your job description is, and rightly so. But boss has to make those sacrifices. See, boss has other responsibilities that your job description does not have. Boss has to make sure that you have a desk to sit your ass in. Boss has to make sure that you have lights so you could be able to turn the computer on. Boss has to make sure that there is a computer and a desk for you to sit at. And boss has to make sure that there is coffee at your station. Boss has to pay for those things. Make sure that they're keeping stock of the cups and the creamer and the sugars that are in the break room. I've heard some people complain about the coffee that's in the break room, whether or not it's good enough or tastes as good as Starbucks or Tim Hortons. But they don't have to pay for it. Boss does. If you have an organization of over 1,000 people, that's a damn sure quite a bit of coffee that has to be paid every single month that employees don't have to pay for, that they complain about. These are operating expenses. And that's just one of the many types of expenses that have to be paid to run a business every single month. I know this is a choice that boss made when they went into business. Yes, I get that. But when you go into the office and say, good morning, boss, understand that boss got up earlier than you did to go open the place. So boss was already there when you went in to go say, good morning, boss. And when you left at night and said, good night, boss, understand that boss is going to be there a little bit later than you and going to get home later than you. So yeah, if boss is getting a bigger paycheck than you, don't you think it's deserved? So when boss takes that fancy vacation, don't you think it's deserved? If you were in the same position and you put in the type of hours and you had those type of responsibilities and it was time for your vacation, wouldn't you want a better vacation and a bigger paycheck? Think about it. I'm going to keep this a short one today. The reason why I'm saying this is because there's a reason why workers are only workers and bosses are only bosses, because there's a certain mentality associated with this. There are a lot of people that say they want to be bosses, but the truth is, when it comes right down to the responsibility, a lot of them are handed that responsibility, and a lot of businesses fail because the minute they become bosses, they think what being a boss is about is not all it's cracked up to be. There's a huge amount of time and sacrifice involved, and they weren't thinking about that. They were thinking about the bigger paycheck and the fancy title and being in charge, and they weren't ready for it. They weren't ready for it. And sometimes Spirit will give you exactly what you asked for just to teach you a lesson and to make you realize that you are not ready for what you were asking for. Just to teach you a lesson, to humble you, and to make you thankful for what you already have and to keep your mouth shut. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace to you all.